clad in metal, proud, no mere salt curing for you. You are not bacon.
What?
I said clad in metal, proud.
No, I heard you. Why are you saying it?
Well, you see, this is what I want to lead off with because it's kind of amazing, isn't it? Let me read some more here. Grotesque pinkish mass in a blue can on a shelf, quivering alone.
What?
My friend Pork Shoulder, I return to you this time. I've brought mayonnaise.
Why are you saying these things?
So I was talking with someone earlier, and they told me about this wonderful, wonderful thing. Apparently, there are as either one person or a group of people, I'm not entirely certain about that, who have made it their mission in life to make as many haiku about spam as possible.
Okay.
So then you get wonderful things like pink, beefy temptress, I can no longer remain vegetarian. Highly unnatural, the tortured shape of this food, a small pink coffin. Cube of pinkness, yellow specks of porcine fat, give me a spork, please.
Okay.
O tin of pink meat, I ponder what you may be, snout or ear or feet.
I don't know what to do with this information.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with it either, so I decided to just read some of them on the podcast. They're so, like, this is so amazing.
Yeah, that's one word for it.
Like some spongy rock, a granite, my piece of spam in sunlight on my plate. That's not a haiku. That would get soccer thrown out of the little poetry house.
That's what I think of every time I think of haikus.
Uh-huh. Blue can of steel, what promise do you hold? Salt flesh, so ripe. That's also not a haiku. Someone has lied to me.
Did they promise they were good haikus?
I mean, the definition of haiku is 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables.
I know what a haiku is.
Yeah,
I've seen the Avatar.
but they have 4 and then 6 and then 4. That's not a haiku. This one is can of metal slick, soft center so cool moistening. I yearn for your salt. Silent former pig, one communal awareness, myriad pink bricks. Jelly for mortar, 700 tins and more. I build a spam house. Above all others, porcine treat without equal, there is but one spam. All right. I will stop, I think.
You sure?
Maybe. Every time I feel like this may be dragging, I might start reading more. Anyway, how has your week been, Masters?
I don't think that would make it better.
Makes it better for me. Hmm.
It's been uneventful.
Uneventful. I can't say the same. I mean, I can, and I like nothing has fundamentally changed, but a lot of the perception on things has changed.
About
Just kind a lot of things. So,
like
no, like if you, I'll tell you if you just let me get a word in edgewise. um,
you don't ever have a problem with that.
Fair. Um, so I started this new job about a month ago.
Uh-huh.
And ever since like Thursday of last week, my bosses have been having me basically play partner roulette. So I'm standing at the hot end of the furnace, and it's too much work for one person. And thankfully, they realize that. So they give me a different someone to be there with me to pull the hot glass off. Well, it didn't really occur to me until it was mentioned yesterday that I am now in charge of the hot end of the furnace. I don't think I'm ready to be in charge of the hot end of the furnace.
They didn't think that one through.
I didn't think that went through at all. They're just like, he's here, he's showing up, he's mostly on time. Yep, he's management material. They're not paying me anymore, but they're just like, yeah, we like him. We will make him the person. Like, I think the exact words they use were like, you're the the hot end lead or something like that, and I'm like, you guys just don't get this at all, do you? I came here for a paycheck, not for management.
Not for responsibility.
Yeah, I'm trying to remain as untrained and unhelpful as possible. I mean, I'd also, I mean, okay, I've lost like 20 pounds working at this place.
Easy.
And like, I'm eating more food than I ever have before in my life, and I'm still down 20 pounds. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not arguing. It's like, I probably got like another 20 or 30 to go here, but like, it's intense.
And then it was in a building.
Haha. And but man, that was real news to me when they're like, yeah, you're just kind of in charge of this now. And it was like, but the guy I'm working with has worked for you guys for 20 years.
I didn't sign any paperwork.
Shouldn't he be the guy in charge of this? I'm just floating the idea here that maybe, because when I like my first 3 days, I was told, oh yeah, you're going to be trained for like 2 months. You're going to get everything down. You're going to know how all the things work. I'm like, okay, great. I basically just got taught how to take glass off the hot end and kind of halfway where to put it most of the time.
Do you really need more direction than that?
Yeah, you do actually, because sometimes they don't have the places to put it that you're supposed to be able to put it, like at all. And they're just like, yeah, we'll get to that. Like when there's these big like storage carts that we throw it on so it can be sent out to our different clients. And Tuesday we went all day without 3 of our 6 major storage carts, which it doesn't really sound like that much, but when you consider the idea that on a typical day we put 120 to like 180 pieces of separate glass on any one of those carts, it's kind of a big deal. You really need to have a place to put this stuff. And it's not like you can just be like, okay, well, we'll wait. Because while you're waiting, there's more hot glass coming. Very quickly. Very hot. Very breakable. I did have my first like bunch of glass fall off the end of the table yesterday, which was not my fault. I'm not sure whose fault it was. But I picked up the biggest piece of glass on there, and I was manhandling it over to where it was supposed to go. And while I was sliding it into the proper slot, it's kind of weird. You have to kind of have a visual, which I don't have the ability to give you at the moment because I haven't taken any pictures in there because there's not that much to see. But I'm trying to manhandle this 95-pound piece of glass into place, and all of a sudden you hear this just loud shattering pop, and I'm like, I don't know what that was, but I have a pretty good idea it's not going to make me happy. So I finished putting this piece of glass away, and I walk over, and there's just like 3 panes of glass that just shattered all over the floor, and I'm like,
why?
So it's like a stepped conveyor, so it'll only go up until the point where like there's like a little electronic eye that will pick it up and say, okay, no further. But then there are these little like rubberized casters that pop up that make it easier to move heavy glass. But if it's light glass and it's too close to the end of the um end of the table, they'll just fall off, apparently. And I think what happened, and he won't admit to it, but I'm pretty sure what happened is that the guy I'm working with picked up the last piece of glass off there and was like, "Oh, well, I'll just help things along." And he pushed the advance button and then walked away. And like as soon as he walked away, it brings the glass forward, and then the casters pop up, and it was some smaller pieces on there. Thankfully, they're smaller pieces. I mean, I guess not thankfully, because if they'd been bigger, it wouldn't have been a problem. But they were small enough that they just like tipped over the end of the table, and they all three of them shattered. About 30 pounds of glass on the floor. It was fun.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. This is my life right now. I already have people asking me, when are you quitting?
Why?
Well, they're like, number one, for like the first 2 weeks, everyone's like, are you like on some sort of weird starvation diet or something? Because I lost a lot of weight very, very quickly. And I still am losing a lot of weight very, very quickly. But it's not as noticeable as it was the first 2 weeks. And they thought I was like sick and unhealthy. I'm like, no, I'm just working hard. And then they started asking like what I'm actually doing there. And I started telling them, and they're like, I wouldn't do that. I think the pièce de résistance was on Thursday. They're like, there's 2 guys at the church I go to who are very, very, very much physical labor guys. One of them owns his own business, but right now, because of all the hiring issues that we're having everywhere, he is basically doing half of all the work for his business himself. And he's just going like a madman. And there's another guy who is a tree guy. So he climbs up in trees like 60, 80, 120 feet in the air using ladders, which is always fun because I've seen a picture where there's like a ladder that's placed against a tree, and then like there's
a ladder on top of the ladder.
There's like a branch off to the side, and like there's a ladder perched from the branch onto the tree, and then you go up again, and there's another ladder perched even higher. And I'm like, this doesn't look safe. And like 4 ladders high, there he is in the tree with a chainsaw, just whacking away at branches. And I'm like, this is there's at least 7 OSHA violations right in front of me right now, and I can't even count them. I can't even pick them all. But like he's going up there and he says, like, yeah, like, what are you doing? So I told him, I'm just picking up glass. He said, well, like, how heavy is it? And I told him. He goes, I wouldn't do that. Really reaffirms the wisdom in my employment decisions.
I mean, you're making bank right now.
So. I mean, I'm making okay money. I would not do this
Make
for
more not do.
I would not do it. I would not do this for a penny less. Put it that way. And I'm really looking forward to my next check because there's supposed to be some like bonuses involved in that. And that might really help soothe over some of the pain in my everything. Week of discovery, I discovered that my boots are exactly 1 inch too short to prevent me from banging my calf or my shin into the racks that I load glass into. Exactly 1 inch too short. And I have a wonderful. For like 3 days, I had a nice welt on my leg. That was wonderful. It still hurts. My hands hurt all the time. All the time. I haven't had any glass explode on me again. That was good. Once was enough. I did find a weird wooden stool that was exactly the right height to just nail me in the back of my knee. Wood stool. Well, yeah. It could have been a toadstool or just stool. But anyway. It like nailed me in the back of my knee, and just it's messed up. And of course I was carrying like half there's the 2 of us carrying a piece of glass, and it was like 180 pounds. And you like you've had someone like come up behind you and just like tap the back of your knee and like it kind of collapses a little bit. It,
Huh?
it was like that, but a lot harder, and I was carrying 180 pounds of glass. It's not a good combination.
Could imagine.
Like I saw my life flash briefly before my eyes. I'm like, well, here's where it ends. Workman's comp, take me home. um, I didn't drop it. I didn't break it. I didn't go home. Could have. Oh, I got overheated for the first time at work. That was fun. Threw up about a 3/4 of a gallon of water. Went back and finished my shift. That was wonderful. Like I was not dehydrated. I just was too overheated. Working
Yep.
hard. It's just been a real week. Great. I keep telling people I have to work here at least 90 days. They say, why? I said, well, that way I can get paid back for the very expensive boots I had to buy to work here. I don't
My
know.
week was a lot less eventful.
Like that's just what I did for work. Um, and then it was also funny on Thursday they asked me if I was going to be under 60 hours this week. And I said, well, if they don't call me in on Saturday, I'll just make it. I'll be at 59. They called me in
Did they
today.
call you in?
Of course
Did
they
they?
did. I'm at like 63 or something. It's not bad. Last Everything past 40 is time and a half, so that also helps.
Uh-huh.
It's been a very full and exciting and eventful week, I guess. Oh,
Yeah,
today.
so my week, I rewatched all the Harry Potter movies,
Huh?
and I'm working on rewatching all the Star Wars movies, but JC convinced me to also include Mando in that rewatch of the movies.
Okay.
So I'm on episode 4 of season 1, 5 of season 1
I'm thinking
of
about
Mando,
this.
watching them in order.
Uh huh.
So got the rest of Mando and then the last 3 movies.
I'm thinking about this. After Bad Batch wraps up, I should try and rewatch the entire Star Wars saga chronologically. That could be fun. Well, it could also be very maddening. I wonder if I would have to include the Ewok movie. Did you include the Ewok movies?
No, I did
You
not.
should have included the Ewok movies. They're on Disney Plus now.
I know they are.
Have you ever seen them?
I have seen bits and pieces of the Christmas special.
That's not the Ewok movies.
You're right. That's the Wookiees.
Yes.
So no, I have not.
You should watch them. They're good. Ish.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, there's also a whole bunch of other things in here. I didn't even realize this.
What?
Vintage Star Wars animated shows.
Uh huh.
Man, I haven't seen those. I gotta watch those.
Have
Story of the
fun.
Faithful Wookiee, Star Wars Ewoks, the anime-esque Clone Wars series.
You haven't seen that?
No, like that's
That's
been
the movie.
no. That's not the movie.
It is. It's the movie that the Clone Wars series was based off of. They changed a bunch of stuff about it because it sucked.
No, it's not a movie. It's 2 episodes.
That released in theaters as a movie.
Okay,
I worked in the theaters when it came out.
I was unaware of that at the time. Okay. um, and I've actually heard a lot of very good things about this. So maybe next week I'll find some time to watch that. Um, and I can dispute your claim that it's terrible. Um, 'cause I've heard a lot of very good things. In fact, that was where the species that I pulled my last very ill-fated and short-lived, despite the fact that he is 1,500 years old, um, character for the Star Wars play-by-post. Like that's where his species comes from. I forget what it's called. Oh, the Jedi. Hmm. 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 So many cool little things. I'm way behind here. I gotta really, really, really start watching some of this stuff. Oh, by the way, while we're on it, let's talk about the Bad Batch. Have you seen the latest episode?
Of course.
Okay, let's discuss. I've heard there's controversy, which I looked up and was like, you all are idiots, but okay. um, what did you think, Masters?
Um, I was very happy to hear uh, a certain Asian voice in
Yes,
this episode.
they actually got her to do her own voice, which is great.
Like as soon as I heard it, I was like, "Ooh." I wasn't 100% sure if that's who I thought it was, but then JC confirmed it for me.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. Um, my family watches a show called The Masked Singer.
Yeah,
Um, and it's people wearing masks singing famous
yeah,
folks,
I
yada
know
yada.
what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. This season started and like the first four reveals, I got all I technically got the first four. Um Although it was kind of a weird technicality. Was it or was it only the first three? It might have been only the first three because I can't remember what the fourth one was. Um but like uh first one to go home was Kermit the Frog. And no, I didn't guess Kermit, but I guessed the guy who took over for as his voice actor. And then so I have a very good ear for voices. It really helps. Um,
Mhm.
so like I didn't need to look up anything. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's definitely Ming Na Wen doing the voice for. I'll remember the name. I know the actress, but
Starts
not the
with an
character.
F.
What?
Starts with an F.
Oh, Fennec Shan. There we go.
Yeah. I just saw that episode on Mando.
Hmm. Uh, really good.
Mhm.
So here's the thing that everyone was upset about. She's not the good guy.
Why would she be the good guy?
I know.
She
Like
was an assassin.
I
Did
know.
they not watch The
I
Mandalorian?
apparently didn't watch The Mandalorian. They're like, why is she the bad guy? I'm like, okay. So season one, episode 3, she's a sniper shooting at people across the desert.
Mhm.
Well, her introduction was as a bad guy.
Episode episode 4.
Wasn't it episode
It's
3?
episode 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's episode 4.
What is episode 3?
Because episode 3 is the crazy shootout
Oh
episode.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was another thing I discovered. Suddenly like connected this week. Carl Weathers, the guy who plays Grief Karga, like I knew that
Yeah.
he was in the Rocky movies. I just realized this week that he was also in Happy Gilmore. He was he was Chubbs, um, Adam Sandler's golf instructor that got scared. Well, first got his hand bitten off by a crocodile, and then got scared after Happy Gilmore killed the crocodile and presented its taxidermied head to him and fell out a window. Um, which is a weird thing to realize, but I'm like, okay, I guess that's where my brain went this week. Fun. Um, just been a real weird week this so far.
Still confused as to why people were upset that she wasn't a hero.
Well, because she's supposed to be a hero, she's this ex-imperial sniper who killed a whole lot of people during the war. I can't imagine why we would have any kind of issues with that. And it's actually really kind of funny because we are introduced to her as a ooh. I just had a really okay. I'm gonna pitch a fan theory for you, okay?
Okay.
Because things just came together in my mind. So she is right now. She's a bad guy. She's not yet been able to like take up her mantle of having like snipering kind of things. As Disney productions go, it's pretty obvious at some point that Crosshair is going to get like turned back, and he's going to get the chip taken out or deprogrammed or something, and he's going to end up back as part of the crew. Pretty obvious that that's going to happen. She will take his place in the new Imperial Army as like a trainer because she's gone up against the clones and she's very good against them and like really gave him a hard time. And she'll be like one of the first major conscripts to Tarkin's new conscription-based Imperial Army. And she'll become like that's when she'll become like the sniper and like the commander kind of thing of her own little group of conscripted soldiers, much like Crosshair is right now, and maybe just take over his squad. I can see this happening because that would bridge the gap.
Yeah. I have nothing to refute.
But I mean, she's too good a character to just throw away. And the thing is, this is something that a lot of people who are probably upset about her not being the good guy don't get. People who are universally good are not any fun at all unless they come up against something which is not universally bad. One of the things that makes Captain America so compelling, despite the fact that he is referred to on multiple occasions as being like the Boy Scout and just doing the right thing all the time, is that his best friend is the Winter Soldier, and then he has to make some morally compromising decisions about whether or not he's going to remain true to his friend Tony or if he's going to remain true to his friend Bucky. That's what makes him interesting as a character, and they did a fantastic job of that in the MCU. But in order to make characters on the stand on their own and be interesting, you have to give them some sort of moral dilemma or lack thereof, which is expressed in the extreme in order to really make that play out. Think of like Baron Zemo. He has zero moral dilemma. He has made up his mind and he is going to do whatever it takes to remove all superpowered persons from the planet. That is his goal. Whatever it is that stands between him and that goal, he is going to destroy it unequivocally.
Word.
What?
It's a big word.
It's a big word, I know, but it shouldn't be that hard to figure out. So when you equate this back into, the Bad Batch and Star Wars, the Bad Batch, they are kind of like in that moral gray area, but they're presented in a very much black and white sort of universe where they are the arbiters of absolute good through the lens that we have. I think that will probably change with time, but for right now, they are, our lens into what should be happening if the entire galaxy, as within the Star Wars universe, was being done, was of upright moral character. Fennec Shand is totally in it for herself. Again, a much more or much less, more or less. I'm not sure. They might. If she hadn't have given credits to the guy before she blasted off at the end of the episode, it'd be like, okay, she's not nuanced at all. She's just in it for herself. She's just whatever. But she did, and now it's like, okay, well, maybe there's some sort of back and forth at play. She has a moral.
I mean,
She's a lawful neutral
because we've
character.
watched because we've watched Mando, we know she's at least lawful neutral at the very least.
Yeah, I don't think
Uh,
she's lawful
because
evil.
because she joins up with Boba because he saved her life.
Right. Although that is also a very interesting question to ask. How did he save her life? I mean, she's clearly a lot more
He
mechanical than she was, but
Yeah,
did
that's
she
how he did it.
actually die and he kind of brought her back? Because
No,
that's
it's
the whole
probably a
extra.
Darth Vader situation.
Okay. I mean, if she was still. Because my thing is, if she was still at least halfway alive by the time Din Djarin got back there, he'd have been like, okay, maybe I can still get her back somehow, as opposed to just leaving her there in the desert. Um, Because, I mean, he had two pack animals there with him. He could have thrown her across, and they're big, so even if he only had one, he could just
He
throw
only
her
had
across.
he only had
Still,
one.
okay, he only had one, but they're still really
Yeah.
big. He could have just thrown her across the dewback and been like, okay, here we go. I can still turn this in. Um, I don't know. Weird questions that need much more explanation. Book of Boba Fett, please come out soon, more quickly. We need answers. Uh,
Did you
I
see where production on uh what was it? Goodness, now I'm gonna go look it up.
oh
Uh,
Rangers of the Republic.
yeah,
Yeah, I assumed that was dead in the water several months ago because they were building that show entirely around Cara Dune, and I don't see her coming
yeah,
back.
Rangers of the New Republic.
Yeah, yeah, I really don't see that. I don't see her coming back. Unless someone decides they want to pay her a whole lot of money and make a very public apology, I don't see her coming back. Um, yeah. Let's see. Oh, speaking of things that happened this week, uh, or things that we noticed this week, did you read that article I sent to you yesterday, at like 5 o'clock about how Baymax is in the MCU?
Yeah, yeah. That's not entirely true.
If you read
I
the
mean,
article,
just because it said Tadashi does not mean that it had Baymax's programming on it.
it doesn't mean it did, but it also doesn't mean it didn't. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to do it, but I think that there's a like there's just this little thing in me like it'd be really cool if they were like somehow or another include Baymax because from the article it makes it sound like this was intended to be some sort of MCU like there's like comics that are Marvel comics which is how it's all tied in which I didn't know about and now I do and I'm like okay maybe this would work. Are you still there or is your microphone just not picking you up?
No, I'm still here. I'm just not. I don't have anything to say.
Okay. Are you having a rough time, Masters?
I'm super low energy this week.
Hmm. How did that happen?
Oh,
Hmm.
just nothing too exciting happening this week. Oh, I did go Tuesday night to the thing, and we played games and stuff. That was fun.
We?
Yeah, I mean the church thing that I go to.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was fun. Are you wanting more from that?
I mean, you already told me that nothing interesting happened this week, so there's not too much I can
Yeah.
even ask.
Nope, nothing interesting at all.
I
Learned some new information that uh, kind of upset me a little bit, but other than that, I'm
mean,
fine.
you and I needed to have that conversation, but I don't know if that needs to be had on the podcast. Probably.
uh, um,
Yes.
there was something else. Oh, I'm excited to watch Jack Black's Gulliver's Travels on Disney Plus. I loved that movie. It was added this week.
I saw it, and then which is very strange. Not that it's so strange I saw it, but like a large portion of that movie was blanked from my mind by watching a different version of it, which was way worse and like way more crass and just bad overall. Um, it started like Ted Danson. It was from like the late '90s, and at one point, the scene that just locked into my mind. At some point, there's this huge party or something, and he somehow gets drunk off the Lilliputian um, alcoholic offerings, and then the like palace and everything catches fire. He decides to help them put it out.
Interesting.
In the most handy
Yes, you
way
don't have to.
possible.
You don't have to elaborate. We all know exactly what you mean.
It's a wonder it didn't just make it spread faster. Oh, yeah.
Why would it make it spread faster?
Still got a high alcohol content.
I mean,
Just went right through him.
um,
I got problems, man.
yeah, you do. We know.
Oh, but I have fun. That's the most important thing, I think.
Is it though?
Working out pretty well so far.
Is it though? I mean, we had this conversation last week, didn't we?
Uh no, last week we talked about being autistic. By the way, did Sass send you
That's my point.
did Sass send you his responses?
No.
Oh. Apparently he's worse than both of us. Sorry, Sass.
No, Sass sent me two um YouTube videos, one of Waldorf and Statler,
Uh-huh.
and the other one of a film theory of um, Corella Deville. And then he's just randomly said LOL, chat LOL.
Yeah,
And he sent me some other Disney film theories.
he sent me a Bop It Palpatine edition commercial, the little Bop It, twist it, and then he goes, "Do it."
Stop it. Pull it. Twist it.
Do it. uh Gave me like this alternative does toilet paper alternative invention, which someone just put like a scrub brush on a power drill and you push a button, it pops up and lets you fill out the rest of that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
A clip from The Amazing Race a couple years ago where a woman is trying to knock a knight over with a watermelon launcher, and because it's basically just a giant slingshot, it didn't let go of one of the watermelons. And it's like slinged it back and just nailed her straight in the face. Uh, actually, that one's too good. That one we have to share. Um, everyone must appreciate this woman's pain. um, uh, there's also like he sent me something about the Disney recycled scenes. Kind of comparing them where they come from. So like Robin Hood going back to Jungle Book and some of the other ones from that era. They were just kind of just painted over. And then he sent me a Muppets meme which is Kermit and Gonzo. Kermit's apparently saying, oh, "Here's your stairs to heaven. Those steps." Oh, Grover. Grover. I thought this. Okay, I can't read. Your sins, Grover. All 1,048,576 of them. Think yours is long. Wait till you've seen mine. Uh oh. Yeah. So it's been a fun week. All kinds of interesting things happened and didn't happen. Oh, and this is something that happened today after I got off work and got out of my Bible study and everything. I get in the car and I'm heading over to the church to do some cleaning on it. And I had this very clear plan in mind. I'm gonna leave there, I'm gonna drive straight to the gun range, and I'm just gonna have some nice recoil therapy. Which is a great plan, and I strongly recommend recoil therapy to as many people as are interested to try it. On the way over there, though, I got this phone call from a guy I know. He's a nice guy. He kind of falls under my semi ministerial purview, where it's like I kind of have to take his call, but sometimes taking his call is a adventure. He doesn't know how to get off the phone, and he never
Uh,
wants to.
uh,
So I was on the phone with him for just shy of an hour. We accomplished nothing. I think he ended up more depressed than when we started. And he kept me on the phone long enough that by the time I was finished with everything else at the church, all the gun ranges were closed. And I'm like, this was tremendously unfulfilling.
uh-huh.
Yeah, life is. And so I have ammunition, and I had like 400 rounds and a free pass to go hit the gun range for an hour. I can't use any of it. Might try and go tomorrow after church. That could work. I need recoil therapy. It's been too long. Have you gotten your gun out at all, Masters?
I haven't shot it once because I've shot the model before, but I
Mm-hmm.
haven't shot the specific one yet.
Always.
Because we shot before we took it
Mm-hmm.
or before I bought it,
Yeah.
and I just haven't had a chance to go back.
Take a chance. Also bring it to Michigan when you come.
Definitely will do that.
We'll go to the range. Somewhere in the midst of all the stuff that may or may not be going on when you come up here.
Uh,
Feeling better?
eh,
Hmm. Well, Mr. Masters, anything else that you're aware of? That you're enthusiastic or semi that way in discussing?
Trying to think, but I can't think of anything.
I mean, we did have a good like 3 or 4 episode run where we were doing like near 3 hour episodes.
Yeah.
Or we're probably allowed to have one kind of short one. I mean,
Oh, um, me and Monkey have started playing Rocket League.
I did see that.
We're both terrible at it, but it's fun.
I didn't see that, but I suspected that.
Um, but yeah, it's been some fun to play. And kind of get back into because I used to play it when it first came out. I was not good at it then either.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I've learned that I'm excellent at 1v1
Okay.
because everybody in 1v1 sucks.
Really?
Yes. Like I beat a guy 14-0 before he quit yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah. And we still had like a minute and a half left on the clock.
Hmm.
Like it was the longest it ever took me to score was like 6 seconds.
Wow. That's a guy who is probably impaired. I mean,
I mean, yeah, it was rough. I played another guy. I don't think he knew how to play because he never jumped and he never used his boost. Um, but I accidentally let him score twice.
how did that happen?
I was running to go get boost and I turned around and he had been pushing it towards the goal
Just very slowly. Just
very, very slowly. And I was too far away from him to stop him at that point.
like, I'm gonna get you. Oh, I'm gonna get you.
I think I beat him like 13-2.
Hmm. Interesting.
Alabama legalized medical marijuana this week.
You're years behind Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Well,
legalization
we're
is not
out.
really the right word. It's decriminalization because
No, they legal. Oh
federally
well,
it's
that's
still illegal.
that's fair.
The local police department, the local law enforcement is just not going to enforce it.
Um, we've had CBD oil for a couple of years now,
Mm-hmm.
but medical marijuana is just now got signed in this week by the governor.
But governor,
Mama Ivy, as everybody calls her,
and why do they call her that?
because she's an old lady and she talks like a mama.
All right.
Super unqualified to be in office, but she got there because our previous governor was doing some hanky stuff.
I am so looking forward to the election in 2 years, or the election next year here in Michigan.
Yeah.
Unless we can find some way to make that happen faster, because yeah.
Uh, but it don't matter what Alabama does because I work for the government, so I can't touch it anyways.
Wait, what?
I work for the government, so as long as it is illegal federally, I can't have
Ah,
any.
okay, okay. I mean, it's been legal here. I have had no compulsion to do it anyway, but
Well, it has benefits for people with ADD.
okay,
And so I've always wanted to try it just to see if it would increase my focus levels.
okay.
Like, because there are so many things I want to do, but then I'm just like, ah. And I just want to see if I do take it, if it's like, oh, okay, I have this thing I want to do, and then I do it instead of just sitting there thinking about doing it.
For that, you're not looking for CBD. You're looking for Adderall.
Yes, no, I'm not looking for CBD either. Uh, it's the marijuana. There actually CBD oil would also
Yeah.
do it, but but yeah, apparently it's better for you than Adderall. So
I mean, Adderall is one of those focus drugs that we never really figured out. Um,
and Adderall is more for ADHD than it is for ADD because it also has chemicals in it that dull your senses to calm you down instead
hmm.
of you bouncing off the walls everywhere.
Well, that's no fun.
Yeah, I know, right?
Um, like there's a number of prescriptions and stuff that we never really figured out what they did like fully until we before we started just like prescribing them to a bunch of kids.
Yeah,
Like Adderall is one, Ritalin is another. When I
yeah. So Adderall, if somebody that doesn't have ADHD takes it,
uh-huh.
it's like an upper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, like for a while there was that string of memes. Adderall had me like, and there's like a guy out there washing his car in the rain, and
Oh
like
my goodness. I was driving home in the rain the other day and saw somebody going through a car wash, and I was like, why?
no, it that is not what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
I just saw that the other day and it made me think, why? What
Well,
is the point? Oh, I got my second shot this week.
nice.
Um, then the day after, I felt like I had gotten hit by a truck.
I have heard that.
Like it hurt to crawl out of bed.
I'm so looking forward to next weekend. So I get my second shot on Friday.
I thought you got your first shot before me.
I did.
Why is it taking so long to get you? To
because
get
because
you?
the place that because I got it as a sponsor thing from my work, and they are too smart to schedule that on anything short than like the day before the weekend.
See, I do things like the gummy bears thing all the time.
I
Well, I
don't.
used to. I don't anymore.
Yeah, I don't have that level of any level of ADD.
Oh, I've absolutely done that the Walmart thing before.
Oh no, I have better
With
things to do with my day. I have so much better
yeah,
things to do with my day.
I've absolutely done that before.
This is the best one.
I have friends that bowl like that.
Oh, that's so good. For the record, if you're just listening in on audio, you need to join the Discord. There's so much on here you're missing out. Um, oh man.
But yeah, no, I was walking by a bin and it was crazy like that, and so I just started slowly stacking them together, waiting on I don't remember who I was waiting on or why, but I was waiting on somebody to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just slowly started stacking them. And then by the time uh, they got done, I was like almost done. And so I was like, I've got to finish this. I've come so far.
Like, I'm the guy in the store who won't do that. He'll back into a display, knock something over, and then just like casually walk
Casually
away.
walk away. Yeah, no, I don't do that either.
Because I'm like, I.
Like, I will go down aisles, and if I see something out of place, I will fix it. If I see something in an aisle that doesn't go in that aisle, I will take it to the aisle it goes to.
Yeah, I have so much better to do with my day. Oh my.
It
Apparently,
was
Sass is done the launching bowling ball. Oh man.
I that was my favorite part of my job when I worked at Harbor Freight was organizing the shelves.
Hmm. Nope, that's not me.
That is probably still to this day my favorite job I've ever had.
Organizing shelves.
Working at Harbor Freight, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever had like a favorite job.
Um, when I first came home for teleworking, one of the things that I did was reorganize our folder system,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a lot of fun. Just putting files together and organizing all the files into their appropriate bins.
I keep thinking that maybe I should um actually put in the effort and like actually teach myself how to be like a gunsmith because I'm pretty sure I would really enjoy that because I like to do small detail work with my hands like a lot, but I don't. It's one of those things where it's just like do I want to put in the effort to do this thing because if it goes wrong it's going to be like this, it's going to be another useless skill or certification that I've acquired, and I for like 3 years I did nothing but acquire useless skills and certifications that I still don't use and that nobody cares about. So I don't know. I mean, I like guns. I like gunsmithing. I like cleaning guns. I like putting them together, taking them apart, figuring out how they work. Don't see as much of an immediate demand for that in the employment market. And hey, right now I'm
I
lifting
saw a
glass,
thing.
so
I saw a thing this week that said that air traffic controllers can make up to $127,000 a year.
yeah,
I live next to an airport.
yeah. But don't you have to have like
Nope,
no,
no college degree required.
really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I actually meant to look it up and see if they were hiring.
I why is that a job that's not very much that's in demand right now? Because I mean, I can find
Um,
myself a
Apparently, the U.S. as a whole is wanting to have something like 86,000 uh, air traffic controllers employed,
uh
and
huh.
we currently have like 78,000.
Okay.
And uh, within the next 5 years, it's expected that we're going to lose 9 to 10,000 of those.
Wow. That's significant. Hmm. Huh, huh, huh. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. Anything else up on your agenda here, Mr. Masters?
No, nothing I can think of.
Okay.
Go follow my Instagram.
Go follow your Instagram. Go follow
I've
my other
been
YouTube.
posting.
Oh, go ahead.
I've been posting pictures from my camera roll that I think are neat. Most
Nice.
of them are from Disney.
Good, good place to pull pictures from. Go check out my other channel, my other YouTube channel, Truth and Value. It has not been updated in 3 weeks, but I am working on stuff on my next series. So I feel like I had the time because nobody was paying attention. Alrighty then. Um, sorry, it's kind of a short one. If you like a longer one, you must find ways. Send us topics, something. Um, something to that effect. Alrighty. Well then, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Sass, for sending in all kinds of weirdness to us throughout the week. Really appreciate that. Um, anyone else, if you haven't already, join the Discord, hit the like button, subscribe, share this with your friends or enemies or just random people that you might encounter along the way. And yeah, I guess we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.